Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Pageant Planet Live. I'm Stephanie McGrain, and today I am so excited to have the beautiful Elaine Espinola Keltz, Mrs. DC America, joining me. She will be sharing how to prepare for the Mrs. America pageant. Welcome, Elaine.
Welcome. Thank you so much for having me.
So excited to hear all of your advice for us on how to prepare for the Mrs. America pageant.
Wonderful. I'm happy to share. So excited.
Well, let's get started with how to prepare mentally. What do
Sure.
you recommend? How to stay mentally strong and focused? What tips do you have for us?
I think in terms of mentally preparing for a pageant, I think it's important to keep in mind those things that make you feel your most confident and your most accomplished. Getting up on that stage and being in front of all these people, you really want to feel at your very best and your most accomplished. So what I try and do is remember all of those things that make me feel so confident as a woman and as a wife and as a mother. Again, I have happy, healthy children, and I'm happily married, and I have successful business and things like that. Life isn't always perfect all the time, but in terms of mentally preparing, I try and remember those things because they make me feel accomplished and confident, and that's really what I try and focus on because it makes me feel my best and helps me present myself as my best.
So focusing on things that make you feel confident. Love it. Great advice. Now, I know getting ready, preparing for a national competition is a big task in itself, but how does one prepare to get ready to compete internationally for the Mrs. America title in Russia? What do we need to know to prepare for that?
I know. Well, first of all, let me just say that I'm so honored and excited that this will be in Russia. I have never been there before, and what a wonderful opportunity to visit a new country. I hear it's beautiful, and so I'm thrilled to go with the Mrs. America pageant to Russia. And I think in terms of preparing, I think understanding the town that we're going and what it has to offer us. I think that most of us probably will not be bringing a hairstylist or makeup artist all the way to Russia. So that's one thing to keep in mind. I know I personally will be working on my skills, with the makeup and doing my own hair so that when I get there, I'm comfortable and I'm confident that it's going to look great. So that's, I think, one thing that we can all do to prepare, being able to make ourselves, look glamorous without having a glam squad available, because again, most of us won't have that in Russia. And then in terms of packing and preparing, I think that working with whatever designer or boutique that you're going to be getting your dress from, if they can help you with the right kind of packaging for your dress, that will be really helpful. And I think, I have to say that I've been in touch with some of the other misses from the other states. And I think that's been really helpful as well, because we're helping with tips. And I think that just going into it, having some friends will be really helpful as well.
That's right. Having the sisterhood, friends
Yeah.
to rely on, going internationally, I think, will just make everyone feel more comfortable and more prepared.
Absolutely. A lot of us won't be able to bring a ton of friends. I think most of us on the state level had a lot of friends in the audience. We had tons of family members. With it being in Russia, we're all excited, but we're probably not going to have so many friends and so many family members. Many of us are lucky to have our husbands be able to come. So I think being able to really rely on these, incredible women as friends will be extremely helpful to each of us.
Absolutely. And you can cheer each other on.
Absolutely. And help each other out. Hey, who has extra bobby pins? Who has this? Who has that? Because we're not going to be in America where we can just run to the Walgreens. We're going to be in a different country, unaware of the stores and what they have to offer and that kind of thing. So it'll be helpful to have each other for sure.
Exactly. And you never know what you're going to need. Okay. Now, in terms of the swimsuit competition,
Yeah.
what are your tips for preparing?
I go to the gym probably 5 days a week, and I also this is a big tip I think for anyone for a very healthful living is that I consume a paleo diet, which is not quite a diet. It's a lifestyle of eating well, basically. But I think that's one way that's helping me prepare physically. Eating a paleo diet is basically free of grains and free of dairy, and it's really just consuming those foods that are most helpful to us, like proteins and vegetables and fruits. But it helps in so many ways. It's not just helping me to be fit, but just helping me sleep better and helping my skin glow better. I'm not eating a lot of processed foods at all. So in terms of preparing for that swimsuit, definitely, I think most of the women are going to the gym. We all want to feel our best. But for me, it's also about a healthful diet really makes a huge difference in terms of my overall well-being.
That's right. So it's not just getting ready for competition, but for your overall well-being.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, what about interview? What can we do to get ready to impress those judges?
Yeah. Well, I think, the biggest thing is making sure that you are answering these questions in your most authentic and genuine way. I mean, that is just the best key to answering any question in life for anything, right? A job interview, a pageant, for anything, and we can still prepare for that though, by getting together with friends, girlfriends, a pageant coach if you're going to use one. I work with my husband a lot. He'll ask me questions and I'll answer them, and the whole purpose is not so that I have a canned answer or something prepared to answer, but it helps me focus on, here's the question, let me answer it succinctly and in a way that's poised, and it just helps me get in that mindset. So I think getting together again with friends, working with people, having them ask you questions and answering questions, it just helps you gain that skill of answering quickly and sharply, and I think that's helpful.
Love it. So being in the mindset, just getting used to answering questions and being able to answer precisely.
That's right. I think that's the biggest key. Listen, we're all misses, right? We're married women. We all have been accomplished in different ways. I think all of us are very capable of answering any question at any time. But it's that thing where you're on stage and you've got that one question and you've got 30 seconds or however long to answer that question, or when you're in the interviews, again, you don't have a lot of time. So it's not that any of us can't answer a question. Of course we can, but it's being able to really just answer the question quickly, with confidence, and you can practice that. So yeah, I think getting together with friends or a coach or your husband and just practicing listening to the real question and answering the question is the best thing to do.
Absolutely. Agreed. Okay, now what about evening gown? What can we do to prepare to look beautiful, elegant, graceful, really impress those judges on the Mrs. America stage?
I think the best way to prepare for that evening gown look and look your absolute most glamorous and beautiful is making sure that, number one, you pick a dress that you are comfortable wearing. Right? We have to be comfortable, because when you're comfortable, you're not thinking so hard about, is this falling down over here? Is this too long or too short? Right? So you've got this dress that fits you like a glove. I highly recommend we get any dress tailored. When it fits you precisely to a glove, oh my goodness, then it just really makes all the difference from, a dress off the rack to one that's made just for you. And you're going to feel so confident and so comfortable in it. I highly recommend a little sparkle is always nice, right, for the pageant dresses. So I definitely think that just being comfortable and making sure that it's tailored is, great advice for any of us as we prepare for the evening gown.
So true. I believe in getting that perfect fit. So important.
Yes.
Okay, so overall, what is your most important piece of information that you can give to all of the ladies getting ready to compete at Mrs. America?
That's a great question. You saved the best for last. I would say that the best piece of advice for the overall, making sure that you have a wonderful experience and really shine brightly is for all of us to remember that this is a wonderful opportunity We are all, I know, so grateful and honored to have won our state title. And I wish for everyone, and I know for myself, I'm going to remember on that evening to have fun, right? Having fun with it is the most important piece of advice. Don't let the stress get to you. By the time we get there, we will have been well prepared. And so remember that you've done all the preparation. This is our night to shine, be our authentic self, have a wonderful night, have a lot of fun. Keep in mind that this is just one night out of our life. So let's just enjoy it, because when you're having fun, you're going to have that natural smile. We're going to feel confident, have a great time. And I think that's the best piece of advice. Just have a great time. And remember that this is an honor and a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Wonderful advice. Great tips. Elaine, thank you so much for joining me, sharing.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been an honor just to do this interview with you. You are lovely, and I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you so much. You are so lovely, so beautiful on the outside as well as the inside. And I will be cheering you on when you're on that Mrs. America stage. So excited for you to go capture that crown.
Thank you so much, Stephanie. Thank you.
And thanks to the viewers for tuning in, and for more great interviews like this one to help you succeed in pageantry, be sure to subscribe to Pageant Planet's YouTube channel. Thanks, everyone, and thank you, Elaine.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.